Hi, I'm Andrea, and we're here at the AQS Des Moines Quilt Week with Mary Rossi and her quilt Enchanted Roses that took third place in the bed machine quilted category. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So let's talk about this quilt. First, let's talk about the pattern, the design inspiration. Tell us about that.
Well, this one was a 2011, thequiltshow.com, Ricky Timms and Alex Anderson's website. And Sue Garman was the designer, and she does absolutely fabulous designs with very good directions. And I had done two others of hers. One was an applique, and the other one was a piece, and both were very much precision type quilts. This one, I saw it, and I thought, those swags really caught my eye, the way how she treated the swags and stuff and designed those. And I found myself really drawn to it, and I thought, I've got to do that one. I've just got to do it. With no intention of putting it in a show or anything, I just liked the pattern. So I went to one of my favorite quilt shops and said, okay, gals, help me find fabrics. And I basically knew what I wanted to do in it, and we just started digging up fabrics and throwing them down. And I wound up with a whole pile of fabrics that I used for it. And I found that it was just so enjoyable. I love needle turn applique. It's one of my favorite things to do. But I found with this quilt that it was particular, I had to really be careful and also take my time and be very precise with my piecing, especially like in the basket area and this outer area.
Would you say that was the most challenging part?
This was one of the real challenging parts. The strips, I wound up having to piece them two at a time and measure each set. And then join those two to four and measure each set. Because if you were off a hair, it would add up and you'd be off a half an inch or so. So the first group that I did wasn't as careful, and I thought, oh, I'm in trouble. So then I took it apart and then started doing the real precision. So that took a fair amount of extra time to do all of that.
So all in all, how long did it take you to do the quilt?
Well, this was what we call block of the month. It was actually more like a strip of the month or sections of the month, that type of thing. And it was a 12-month project. So that all of 2011, and then in 2012, I stayed caught up pretty well. And then in 2012, I finished it up early part of the year, and then put it on my long arm, and quilted it February, and I pulled it off of my long arm, and I looked at it, and I thought, you know, that turned out pretty good. And we were going, friends of mine and I were going down to the AQS show in Kansas City, and I thought, why not try to enter it? You know. And I was totally blown away when I got a second place down there. So that kind of got me rolling then with it.
And this was your first time in an AQS show, and you win here too.
I know. Absolutely. So it's been. I've had a good ride with this quilt.
Yes, you have. So you said the long arm. What type of machine do you use?
I have a Gamble. It's a Vision 26, and I also have a long arm business too.
Oh. Wow.
So that keeps me busy. So it's a little tough to try to get these type of quilts done when you're busy trying to do customer quilts too. So.
Well, congratulations, Mary. You won another one. That is awesome. You and that Gamble just don't stop.
No, we don't.
No.
We don't.
You did beautiful work. That is an absolutely gorgeous quilt.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I love that Gamble.
I do too.
Good. Keep on stitching there.
I will.
Don't quit.
I will.
All right.
So is there anything specifically you would like to point out, any type of techniques or anything that you want to share with everyone?
Well, I've kind of discussed this outer border piece. I think also like the needle turn applique, it's getting it smooth. Another piece too is that, and I think a lot of us do this type of quilting here, but what gets to be tough to do is if you don't want to bury all your threads all the time, is having to hop over. If you're going to hop over, just trying to come up with a technique that saves you a little bit of time doing that. And that works out well. And I think here, doing the curved cross hatching, I didn't mark it. I just used my curved rulers and then just carefully, moved it as I went, and so I was able to keep it pretty tight as far as the quarter inch. So I think that's it.
I want to ask you one last question. I don't normally ask this question, but I thought it might be fun. Is there anything that you would like to share about yourself personally or about the quilt that others might not know that they might find interesting?
Good question. I didn't start actually quilting, I actually started piecing quilts, that type of thing, until I've got a 14-year-old grandson who's going to be 15 soon. Okay. So I started a little bit later in life, doing this. And I've only been long arm quilting for 5 years. And it's amazing, that I encourage others to do it, you know, and just enter them in shows. You never know. You could very well be very surprised like I was.
And you don't have to be quilting for years, obviously.
No, you don't. You don't, because I was quilting. I finished this up last year, so 4 years of quilting experience, long arm experience.
Wow. Well,
Right.
that's amazing. Thank you for being here.
You're
and
very
thank you
welcome,
for sharing this
and
beautiful
thank
quilt
you
with
for
us.
having me.
Thank you.
All right.